if you can't think of anything for your task as like a long-term pursuit of something that you can, really just dedicate your entire life towards chasing, you can think about something more short-term. You can think, well, I just want to make my community a little bit better, and then you can start to break it down from there. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Welcome to the Risen Fallen podcast. I am your host, Mark Hendrickson. And if you are brand new to this podcast, then what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health and self-development. The idea is, we like to chat here about, moving your life in the right direction. If you're not feeling good about where you are right now, at least having the confidence, knowing that you are getting 10%, maybe 5%, maybe 3%, or maybe just 1%, at least 1% closer to where you want to be in the future every single day. And if you're not new to this podcast, then thank you very much for coming back and supporting the journey, supporting the show, supporting the movement, and supporting the idea of making yourself a little bit better every single day. And along the journey, lifting others up as well. And whether you're brand new to this show or not, I just wanted to say thank you very much for coming here and listening in, tuning in, watching, and, just letting you know that you are the reason that I do what I do. Yes, you listening to this right now, whether you're driving, folding laundry, doing dishes, tuning out some of the shit that you don't want to think about by listening to this. I don't know what it is that you're doing, but when you're listening to this, you're the reason that I do what I do. So it's beautiful Thursday morning if you're listening to the podcast version of this. It's a beautiful Thursday evening if you're watching the YouTube version of this. You guys know that these podcasts drop Mondays and Thursdays at 5 a.m. on the audio platforms and 5 p.m. on the video platform, which is YouTube. Quick little reminder to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching the YouTube version of this, and rate it 5 stars. Leave a little review for your boy if you're listening to the audio version of this. Both of those things help boost me in the algorithms and help spread this message out to people that need to hear it. But today I wanted to have a quick little chat with you guys. I know I always say that. I'm planning on doing a few more interviews in the coming weeks here, but right now you're just stuck with plain old me, just me chilling by myself. And before I jump too deep into today's episode, as we kind of set the tone, set the mood for the weekend here as we approach that. It's Thursday, which is the Friday to Friday. Before we do that, I'm going to take a little sip of my coffee here. We're all just going to get into the right mindset, into the mood of self-development and feeling good and all that beautiful stuff. So I'm going to take a sip of my coffee real quick. If you got a drink in front of you, take a sip with me. If you don't, take a breath with me. But we're just going to take a moment, get grounded, and get ready to rock and roll. But I'm going to take a sip really quick. So join me with that. Good old coffee. Coffee. I love coffee. So, I've been in this realm of self-development and mental health for the last few years. Been making this podcast, been kind of obsessing with just kind of optimizing my own life, making myself, the most efficient routines. I've been reading a ton of books in the last few years, pretty much every self-development and self-help, mental health, psychology book that I can get my hands on. I've had many of them gifted to me as well. Some of them recommended to me by you guys, which I 100% appreciate. If you have any book recommendations, I am always looking for more books to read. But I feel like this industry, this whole movement of self development and mental health has a weird thing around it where sometimes people become obsessed, and I have in the past as well, with self development, with self help. You know, when you first want to make an improvement in your life, what's the first thing you start doing? You start listening to podcasts like this, listen to every type of podcast you could possibly think of that's going to help you, see results, get motivated, get inspired, listen to successful people. You're going to read books. You're going to, I don't know, do as many workouts as you possibly can. I don't know what you guys do, but that's just kind of the way I went about it in the very beginning, which don't get me wrong, all of that is good stuff. I still do all of those things to this very day. But, before you get encapsulated in the cycle of just consuming all this different information, I want to give you guys two simple steps which are going to help boost your mental health in every single way possible. It's going to help you boost your confidence. It's going to help you boost your motivation. It's going to help you boost your discipline. It's going to help you boost your energy levels, your enthusiasm, the way you think about your life, the way you think about yourself, the way you treat other people, the way that you view relationships in general, whether that be your friendships, your relationships with your loved ones, your relationships with your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever it could possibly be. It's going to change your whole world. And those two simple steps are the two things that I've kind of derived from every single self-help book, every single podcast, all the content that's out there that I've consumed. I have broken down into these two simple steps. And if this is the only podcast episode that you listen to on my, podcast, then I think that it will probably be the most life-changing. I know that there's definitely a ton of value if you go through all of the different episodes on each different topic and listen to all the interviews. There's going to be all these different perspectives you're going to hear. And I do encourage doing that. Like I said, I still consume podcasts about this stuff every single day. I still read books about this stuff every single day. Every morning when I start my day, that's literally how I start my day, is by reading. But if I were to break down self-development into two simple steps, it basically comes down to two very, very simple steps. And the first one is actually the more difficult one. And then the second one, I think, is kind of more simple. But the very first thing that you need to do is find a definitive task for your life. This is going to be something that's very, very specific, something that if you were to complete this task, you could look back at your entire life and say, it was fucking worth it. And that is something that I believe is easier said than done. I think that everyone does have a purpose. Everyone does have a calling in this world. I think that we were all put here for a specific reason. But knowing that reason and discovering that reason can be very difficult for a lot of people. I know that for the majority of my life, I didn't know what mine was. In fact, that was probably a lot of I'd say the root cause of a lot of the depression and the anxiety that I felt, was not knowing why I was on this earth, not knowing why I was here, not knowing the purpose of life, and just kind of feeling like I was just a useless cog in the machine, and feeling like I had no purpose, feeling like I was almost like a mistake, or like I had no purpose. That's the best way to go about it. And I think that this is something that you'll discover either early on in life, maybe later in life. Maybe it's something that comes as a hidden message to you. Maybe it's something that's been in the back of your head for years and years and years, and you've never really tapped into it, and you have told yourself many different justifications or reasons why you can't pursue this thing, because it's unrealistic, or it's an extremely populated niche that already exists and you have no chance of doing it, or whatever it could possibly be. But some task is calling your name, and it's something that serves something outside of yourself, something that would benefit other people or your community, the world around you, for to make the world a better place. And I think that one of the ways that you can go about finding it is the second step. So you remember that first step, because we're going to probably circle back to that later on, but understanding that you need to find a definitive task for your life. And this is not something that's just superficial, like make a lot of money or have a fancy car or anything like that, because those things, when you achieve them, will be kind of like a stepping stone. You'll say, okay, I want to make $1 million. And then once you get 1 million, you'll be unsatisfied with that. You'll want 2 million. And those things will lead you on a never ending rabbit chase of, unhappiness and ungratefulness. These types of definitive tasks that I'm talking about are completely separate, and those will create the other materialistic things that you're looking for as a byproduct. The people that are happiest in this world, the people that are the most successful in this world, find a definitive task and chase after it, and they get the fortune and the fame and the cars and the girls and all of that stuff as a byproduct of being excellent and excelling at the thing that they've found to be their definitive task for their life. So that's number one. That's the number one thing that I can recommend for you, is to find some sort of a task for your life. If you can't think of anything for your task as like a long-term pursuit of something that you can really just dedicate your entire life towards chasing, you can think about something more short-term. You can think, well, I just want to make my community a little bit better, and then you can start to break it down from there. When you start impacting people in a positive way with your community, you'll start to see the things that intrinsically make you feel good, the things that add to your self-worth. Say, hey, I made this person smile. My definitive task for the rest of my life is to make other people happy. How can I do that? This is the means of how I like to make people happy. I'm going to excel at doing that thing. And then you can hopefully even try and make a living out of it. When you start to break things down like that into a more short-term thing, it's like, how can I make my community better? Well, first, this is the kind of like the Jordan Peterson principle of like keeping your room clean. If you want to make your country better, you first have to make your state or your province better. If you want to make your state or province better, you first have to make your city better. If you want to make your city better, you have to start with your community. If you want to make your community better, you have to start with your neighborhood. If you want to start with making your neighborhood better, probably have to start with making just your street better. If you want to make your street better, maybe make your house or your apartment building better. And if you want to do that, you got to start with one room, and you got to start small and build up from there. So that's kind of an idea, an overview of how you can find your definitive task for life. If you, don't know the big picture, the big long-term goal, then you can start small and build up from there. However you want to go about it. Maybe you have something, like I said, in the back of your mind that you've always thought about, but you've never really wanted to pursue, or you never really had the guts to pursue. You never really had the time. You never really had the energy. You never really had the money, whatever it could possibly be. That's probably the thing that you need to gun towards. The second step in this process of self-development and mental health and how to get your life moving in the right direction is find a routine that works for you. When you first start learning about self-development and mental health, and you listen to all these gurus online on YouTube, they're going to tell you need to meditate every single day. You need to have a phone call with a loved one every single day. You have to speak to a counselor. You have to read every single day. You have to exercise every single day. You have to stretch every single day. You have to journal every single day. You have to, I think I said it already, but meditate every single day. You have to fucking eat 12 meals of vegan stuff or 12 meals of raw fucking meat and carnivore diet. You have to get 9 hours of sleep. You have to exercise for 6 hours a day. You have to work from home, drop ship fucking t-shirts with your logo design on it. Fucking, they're going to tell you 900 different tasks that you have to do on a daily basis, and it's completely overwhelming and unrealistic. You can maybe pull it off for 1 or 2 days in a row, and then you end up falling back into the same old routine that you did for the last 15 years. And let's face it, that's not working for you either, because you're unhappy and you want to make your life better, which is why you're consuming this type of content in the first place. And then you're stuck in this weird limbo phase of, well, I want to be better, but I can't fucking do the 900 things this guru told me to do. So then you get to this point where I'm talking about right now, which is step number 2. The second thing you need to do, which is find a routine that works for you. Something that you can do on a daily basis with no compromise, with no deviation, and you can do it on a daily basis. And you can stick to it like 99.999% of the days throughout the year, throughout your life. So you basically have to think of a couple of non-negotiables that you can pull off on a daily basis, no matter what kind of day it is, whether it's, waking up at the same time every single day, starting your day off with some reading, starting your day off with some journaling, 5-10 minutes of something that you can do to just get your mind set right in the first fucking hour of your day. Maybe it's at the end of your day so you can kind of wind down and get ready for bedtime. But finding a routine that works for you. Personally, I've talked about my routines multiple times in this podcast, and my routines have even altered and evolved based on different challenges I face in my life, what my goal is for that time, whether it's, during doing like a 75 hard challenge, or maybe if I'm injured, it's going to change, or maybe if I, find myself shifting my short-term goals, then that routine can shift as well. But on a regular basis, my daily routine literally goes like this. I wake up at the same time every single day, about 4:15. I turn on my coffee machine. I feed my cat. I brush my teeth. I come into this office. I sit down and I read for about a half hour. And then I write down small tasks that I have to accomplish that day so that I can look back at the day and feel like it was a good day. That's pretty much it. That's my routine. That's what I do essentially on a daily basis. Now, I exercise every single day as well, but that type of exercise that I do varies all the time. For the most part, it's going to the jiu-jitsu gym and training there 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday. Sometimes I get injured. I have to take a night off or whatever it could possibly be. Then obviously that changes to an hour of yoga or an hour of jogging or an hour of, weightlifting, whatever it possibly could be. I exercise for an hour every single day. That's another part of my routine. And that's pretty much it. Those are the things that I'd say are routine in the idea of I do them on a daily basis no matter what. There's other things that I do that benefit my mental health, but those are supplementary. When I say that you need to find a routine that works for you, it's just a simple thing, a list of tasks that you can do on a daily basis, preferably at the same time every single day, that you can do on a daily basis, that you can pull it off. You can say, hey, I did my routine today. Preferably, this should be centered around the type of task that you want to dedicate your life to doing. For me, obviously, with the mindset and the goal of this podcast of wanting to help alleviate some of the mental suffering in this world and make people feel a little bit better and give them a little bit of guidance in terms of, finding a purpose for their life. That is essentially what I've decided was my definitive task. And I've talked about that before, of how I came to that conclusion through my own mental suffering and wanting to help alleviate that feeling for other people. But that's what I gear my routine around. I read every single day to try and learn a little bit more about the psychology of this stuff, of what helps people, what motivates people, what causes the suffering in the first place. Tons of different topics. I journal because that's kind of how I reflect on that stuff, so I can be a little bit more mindful of that. And I exercise every single day so I can have the most amount of energy to maximize myself and make myself feel the best that I can, so that I can try and bring that best version of myself to this podcast and to the people around me in my life. So that's the way I think about it, is to, find a definitive task for yourself, step one. And step two is find a routine that works for you, probably going to be centered around that task, and do that routine every single day, course correct when it's necessary, and go from there. And you could even start with step two. If you don't have a step one, if you don't have a definitive task for your life, you can start with step two. Building a routine. Just build a routine. I started with the idea of, listening to those gurus and doing the 974 fucking tasks they tell you to do on a daily basis. And then I basically just picked the ones that stuck and the ones that I got the best results from, the ones that made me feel the best, the ones that made me feel motivated. And I just continue to do those on a daily basis. I dropped the ones that give me minimal results, or the results that I found were not beneficial to the task that I found. But if you just want to start feeling better, doing positive things that are going to make you feel good is probably a pretty fucking good place to start. So the idea is you want to create a routine for yourself, because if you don't have a routine right now, you're probably just kind of feeling like you're floating in life, and you feel directionless. You feel like you're not going anywhere. You feel like you're, continuing to do the same things over and over again, which kind of is the definition of routine, but it's just not guided towards any certain improvement of your life or feeling good in general. You're just going about your day-to-day tasks that you have to do. You wake up 15 minutes before you have to leave for work in a panic. You feel anxiety first thing in the morning. Not recommended. You get to work all flustered. You do whatever your boss fucking tells you to do. You feel a little bit lost. You feel a little bit pissed off, maybe anxious. Maybe you feel frustrated. Come home, deal with whatever dishes you have in your sink. Fucking fold some laundry if you have the energy to, and then you turn on Netflix to forget about the stress and anxiety that you just felt all day. You watch that a little bit too long. You go to bed a little bit later than you probably should. And you fucking rinse and repeat every single day. If you feel like that and you feel like your quote unquote routine, or your whatever you do on a daily basis right now isn't serving you, then it's probably time to reevaluate what you do on a daily basis and start adding some productivity and something that's actually going to make you feel good. Personally, I like to wake up early. I don't always like it when it's time to wake up. There's definitely mornings where I wake up and the alarm goes at 4:15 and I think, fuck, it's 4:15 already. I really just wish I could get a little bit extra sleep. But when I wake up early and I can, like I said, feed my cat, make some coffee, brush my teeth, and start my mornings off with a slow, nice, steady start, and just like read a book and do some journaling, do some exercise if I possibly can. I don't feel rushed, and I feel like I can kind of get ready for my day on my own time. It just kind of brings me more to a relaxed, mindful state of mind. And then when I go about doing my tasks, because I still have an 8 hour a day job. I still have a day job where I go and work in construction, but I don't feel like I have to be there, even though I have to be there because I gotta fucking pay the bills. But I don't feel like I've been rushed to get there. And when I am going about those tasks, I have it in the back of my head that I have this task that I have to achieve, by any means necessary. And I'm willing to work a day job. And even in that day job, I can find ways to relate my definitive task in my life to my day job and improving the lives of the people around me. Whether that's people I work with, people I work for, people that are customers of the company. Just trying to make their days better, make them smile, and make their lives a little bit better, and maybe share some of the things that I think about and talk about with them, or just improve their home so they can kind of start to settle themselves into a life that they feel better about. So that's pretty much it. Those are the two simple steps. 2 simple steps to make you feel better, to make you feel more energized, more happy, more purposeful in this world. If you found some value in it, Share it with a friend. Share it with somebody that you think needs to hear this message. If you have any other tips, tricks, ideas on how you can improve your mental health or how someone else can improve their mental health, and you're watching the YouTube version of this, share it in a comment below so that other people can read that and improve their lives. And if you listen to the podcast version of this, or if you just feel so inclined, shoot me a DM on Instagram and let me know what you think. I'm very interested and intrigued to hear about what you guys think. I read all the reviews. I read all the messages. I read all the comments. I reply to every single one that I possibly can. And that is pretty much it. It's Thursday today. Enjoy the rest of your week. I fucking love you all. I'm thankful for every single one of you. I'm gunning for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm working for you. So when you feel like giving up, just know that I'm out there grinding as well. And I will catch you guys on Monday. That's pretty much it. Enjoy the weekend. I'll check in with you then. Much love. Peace out, you beautiful human beings.